Yes, Namaskar and welcome to this next episode. We touch upon Shyam Kalyan, a very beautiful, absolutely melodious, very romantic rag. And as usual, I see a lot of our friends joining in. Nice to see Ashok Korwar here, Vishwasji as usual, Mohan Ketkar, Samir, of course, and KV Lakshminarayan, our regular, Neelambari, Neelambari Joshi. So we begin with Shyam Kalyan. Now, like always, I'll begin with some feedback which I received. Feedback from some friends who said that the last session was Purya Dhanashri. Now, they complained that the session was too technical. And in the same breath, they go ahead and say that, well, if you have to explain something as abstract as a rag, then it is bound to be technical. Now, I have two objections to this. One is, the term technical itself. Why do we brand it technical? Because we have said right from the beginning, we don't really want to get into the grammar of the rag. Technical means you get into the grammar. The second aspect of it is, singing out the sargam, and in fact, that I began on the request of some people, saying that if I sing out the sargam rather than just singing or just playing the phrase on the flute, it means something. Well, it could, but then let's look at this closely and see exactly what happens. See, writing down a phrase or writing down a melody is like describing a person. And I always said right from the beginning, a rag is like a person. And then what the artist, the singer, or a flautist like me or anybody is trying to do is he is trying to show that person to you in its entirety, in how he looks and how he behaves and how he is. And for that, the artist has spent his lifetime with the rag, knowing him as a person and knowing him from very, very, very close quarters. Now, instead of singing, if he has to describe the rag, technically, and, writing down the notation, or even talking about the rag, then it would definitely not mean anything. It's like describing a person, and you trying to visualize the person. How can you visualize a person from his description? So what does the artist do? The artist paints the picture. Now the pictures could be, different stages. You could just have a sketch which shows you that it looks like this particular person, but it still it misses out a lot on the detail. He could then go on to, fill up the sketch and actually make it like a picture, like a portrait, and then it seems more close, and then you start feeling, oh, I know this person. The next step would be not only a static portrait, a still portrait, but if you see a video of the person. So this is required. You just can't write down a notation and try to relate a phrase looking at that notation. A singer or an artist is trained to do that. And a listener is absolutely not required to know that. Having said all this, now how does one recognize a phrase? And recognizing a phrase is about recalling. Recalling needs association. You remember reality shows where a singer is singing on a stage and he or she, if he is singing a Kishore Kumar song. Now, what you are actually doing is you are actually playing back that particular song in your mind and then comparing with what is happening on the stage there. And you don't really need to be trained to do this. Your ear, you have to trust your ear, because this is a perfect receptacle. So you are able to actually know if something is haywire, something is not right. You may not be able to tell why, but you certainly know. Now, if that can happen with a song, why cannot it happen with a phrase of a rag? I think the major reason is this fear of technical, and we feel that rag and the classical music is all about the technicals. No, it is not about the technicals. It is the same about feel as it is for popular music. So now, having said this, let us get into Shyam Kalyan. But what we are going to do today is we are going to look at this phrase or these phrases from closer quarters. And the focus is going to be on how to relate to these phrases, identify these phrases, and relate to the rag. So, with so much of preface, I think let's get into Shyam Kalyan. A very beautiful rag, as I hope I could bring out some of the beauty of the rag on my flute. I was playing Shyam Kalyan, and as the name suggests, this is Kalyan. So Kalyan is the main, we can call it the surname of the family, because Kalyan is a family. So Kalyan is a family of ragas, and Kalyan is also a third. Let's not make it technical today. So Kalyan is a family of many ragas. Now what we will do is we will briefly look at the other rags in this family, and then come down to Shyam Kalyan, and we will get the right perspective of where Shyam Kalyan fits into the whole family. Now, extending our metaphor of the person and its picture or sketch, you can imagine that all these rags in the family. Now, let me name them. There is Nanda, Anandi Kalyan. Then there is Kedar, there is Hamir, there is Kamod, there is Gaud Sarang, and of course Shyam Kalyan, and two, three more. Now you can imagine all these to be siblings, because they all belong to the same family. And like any other set of siblings, they also must have some similarities. They may not be identical. And they must have some similarities, and they must differ in some cases. So the similarities or the common elements between all these rags within this family is, one, the use of both the mas. We said that there are two versions of the ma. One is the Shuddha Madhyam and one is the Tivra Madhyam. So how does the Shuddha Madhyam sound? So when I was playing Shyam Kalyan, this is ma. This is Shuddha ma. And the Tivra ma. Re ma pa and ma re ma. So this, these two versions of the ma are at the base of all the rags in this family. And so, like this phrase certainly will start meaning a lot now. So you just have to start focusing on that difference between the Shuddhama and the Tivrama, and you will see, once you get used to it. So the next thing is, every rag has, the saptak, the seven swars are divided into two parts, the Purvanga and the Uttaranga. The Purvanga is the Sare Gama up to Pa, and the Uttaranga is from Ma to Ma Pa Dani Sa, the second part, first part, and the second part. All these rags have, they share this second part. The Uttaranga is very similar. You can easily make out that these are siblings when you look at the Uttaranga. And the Uttaranga of all these rags goes like Pada Papa Sa 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 Da Pa Ni Sa Da Pa Ma Pa Ma Pa Da Pa Sa. So Pa Sa 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 Da Pa, or so there are various ways of going from the pa to the sa. And all these rags, use some of these ways, and they seem to be, moving around. They seem to be using different ways. On all of these ways, sometimes one root, another time another root, but they all will sound very similar. When you really understand this concept, you start understanding that the whole Kalyan, all the rags in the Kalyan family, they are more of a notion. You can't really pin down the chalan, because every artist, from what he has learned, he would go around slightly differently, but it still mean exactly the same thing. They will be portraying exactly the same person every time, and you would know that. So this is the Uttaranga, or the second part. Now the first part changes, and changes very dramatically, extremely dramatically. So let us begin. I hope I am able to do this. Let us begin with Rag Nand. Okay, so Nanda is also known as Anandi Kalyan, so it's a Kalyan Raga, and the rag goes like. So what is the first thing? Saga ma pa re sa ma pa ga ma da pa re sa. So this jump from pa to re. And then it goes into the Uttaranga in a very different fashion. Ma becomes very prominent, the Shuddha Madhyam becomes very prominent, and so this is. And what does this remind you? We don't really have to, look out or search, fish out the associations. So very clear association. This is none. Let's move on to Gaud Sarang. So Gaud Sarang also takes this jump, but then it goes very different. And the upper part is the same. And then what comes to your mind? Nothing else but so this is Gaud Sarang. We can move on to Kedar. We move on to Hamir. And then nothing else but Madhubana mein Radhika nache rahe. Nothing else comes to your mind. And then we move on to Kamod, which actually will take us to Shyam Kalyan, because Kamod is the closest to Shyam Kalyan. So let's look at Kamod. Nothing else will come to your mind. So what I am trying to say is all these rags. Now, if I sing out this sargam, it really won't make much of a difference, because sargam is not something. You can make use of the sargam only if you are trained to use it. Otherwise, converting a phrase into sargam it takes years of practice, and it takes quite some time. All I am trying to say is, for all as a listener, please do not get bogged down by the use of sargam or the super technical approach. Don't get bogged down by the terminology. There is absolutely no need to get intimidated by the terminology. And so this is it. And let's now look at Shyam Kalyan, and let's rehearse. Rehearse from a listening perspective. Let's rehearse the phrases of Shyam Kalyan. So Ma re sa re, ma re sa re ma pa, re ma pa, ma re sa re ma pa. Re ma pa pa ga ma re. Now this is very close to what we did in Kamon. So Kamod also came down to the ga, but the Kamod did ga ma pa ma re. That changes here, and what happens in Shyam Kalyan is pa ga ma re ni sa. So sa re sa, very very typical of any kalyan. Sa re is always very prominent because it combines with the pancham or the pa. So the pa re combination, pa re sangati, the pa re samvad is the foundation of all the kalyan ragas. So and if you have to go down meaning below the sa, then you naturally take ni sa da pa pa da pa pa sa ni re sa re sa ni sa da pa pa da pa pa sa pa ni sa re ma pa ga ma re sa. Now, does this bring about any memories of, one of our sessions? We did a session on sarang, and one of the variants of sarang is Shuddha sarang, which uses both the versions of ma. Shuddha sarang uses both the Shuddha madhyam and the Tivra madhyam, and it also uses the Nidha pa, the Dhevat also. So, Shuddha sarang, this part is very close to Shuddha sarang. Only thing is Shuddha sarang will not come down by, it will not elongate the dha, it will come down straight away. So there is just this similarity, but in construction or in its portrayal, I think Shyam Kalyan is much closer to the Kamo than the Kalyan family. That the ray always comes. It will never do sa re ma re, that takes it to the sarang. So sa ni re sa, typical Kalyan. Rema pa da pa pa ma pa ga ma re dha pa ma pa ga ma re. Again, it keeps all the kalyans. They hover around this pa ma dha pa. It becomes a cluster for kalyan. All the ragas in kalyan, they would go around the pa like this, or and then you go on to the knee. Gamare, that becomes the handle, let's see who. Gamare, ma pa, gamare, sa. Now this is the catchphrase, and I think it'll quite be quite easy to, sort of keep this within you. And this has tremendous recall value. Re, gamare. I made some sense, So these are the phrases of Shyam Kalyan. Now, within all these siblings, unless you know the family well, unless you are acquainted with these siblings, I mean the people who are alike, you can tell them apart. And so it's all about listening to these more and more, and listen to them as I kept on saying, if you listen consciously, then you will start making associations. If you just listen to it like we recall the old film songs because we have been listening to them for decades now. For 50 years now we've been listening to these songs. And so these songs, we have internalized those melodies, we have internalized those phrases. Now, unless we also reach that level in internalizing the phrases of the rag, we will not be able to form associations. But we have this wonderful way of connecting, make connections with the songs which carry the same phrases. I mean, tu jahan chalega mera saya, cannot be any, there cannot be any better recall value for rag Nand. And any similar, and all these melodies are quite strong in nature. And they would bring about they will certainly bring out the associations. So we'll make a bit of a change today. Let's listen to the songs after the break. Now let's take up some questions. Before I go on, I'm going to ask a question to you today, and if you can, I don't know, It's like a quiz. If you can answer the question by the end of this session, I'll be very happy. I said that besides the rag, the rags which we touched upon, the Hamir, Kedar, and Nanda, there are a couple more which are very strong members of this family. If you can list, just list two of them, other than Yaman. So if you can just list two of them, I'll be very happy. So I think, yeah, we can take a break and then go on to listen to a couple of songs. As it is, there are not many songs on this rag, so we'll listen to a couple of songs and a couple of bandishes before we come to the end of the session. So let's go up to the questions. Oh wow. The first comment is very encouraging. This episode is turning out to be the best one, giving us listener a handle on the phrase part of the rag. I think that if we are able to achieve this, we would have achieved a lot. So as I said in the beginning, the idea of this is not to just give you information about the rags. We should be able to make friends with rag. I mean, that is our tagline. Ankit Anand asking where I stay. I think he will get a mail from one of us. KV Lakshmi Narayan, does Shudra Sarang use ma? I think he means Shuddha Sarang. Ma in both Tivra and the other in aaroha and avroha. Shuddha Sarang, all the rags which I said as last time, which use both the versions of the same swara, that is the Komal and the Shuddha. In this case, the Komal and the Tivra. They would always use the higher version. So the Tivra Madhyam will always be in the aaroha and the Shuddha Madhyam will always be in the avroha. Without exception, all rags. So if a rag uses Komal Gandhar and Shuddha Gandhar, Shuddha Gandhar will always be in the aaroha and the Komal Gandhar always in the avroha. The same applies here. So in Shuddha Sarang, you know the sequence. How can we learn to identify the swaras by ear? Unless you practice music, unless you are learning music, this is difficult, but this is not necessary as a listener also. And I think he has also made a very pertinent point. When you explain, we can understand, but not on our own. I think this is the crux of our learning and teaching process. You can talk to any of my students and they'll tell you exactly the same. When they are in front of me, they are in sur. When they go home and then when they are practicing on their own, oh, they are all over. He has a lot more questions on training the ear, etc. I think let's try and address that later separately. Suhas Kirloskar has given a song on Shyam Kalyan. You Neenda Se Wo Jaane Chaman. I think I'm going to play that song because that probably is the only song based on Shyam Kalyan. I think it was from Dard Ka Rishta, R.D. Burman for a change. Gorakh Kalyan, title of RagaQuest videos on understanding Hindustani Classical. No, the title of RagaQuest videos is Tilak Shyam. In fact, I'll be playing a song in that rag now. And it is Shyam Kalyan plus Tilak Kamad. We will talk about it. So I think we are good on most of the questions. Some more questions will of course come in by the time we are through with the song in the bandishes. And of course the answer to my question. So I am also hoping to get the answer to my question. I don't know, Ashok Korwar, Bihag, was it an answer to my question? Okay, so let's now listen to these songs. Okay, so let's oh, now listen to these songs. I'm sorry, I didn't turn myself mute on my video. Yeah, we are good. This was Suhas suggestion. नींद से वो जाने चमन जाग उठी है No, this is Tivra Madhya. Ma, ma, pa, ma, pa. जाग उठी है यूं नींद से वो जाने चमन I also decided to include a song here, which is not pure Shyam Kalyan, but it has a beautiful flavor of Shyam Kalyan. This was a composition by Pandit Ravi Shankar ji. Ravi Shankar composed a rag called Tilak Shyam, and it's a mixture of Shyam Kalyan and Tilak Kamod. So the song, I think obvious, it's a very obvious song. So we'll just listen to this song. The song goes very clearly. The first line Sham Kalyan, the second line Tilak Kamod, and it keeps doing that all through. We'll just listen to a couple of lines. This is Tilak Kamod, and the first line was Sham Kalyan. Very, very beautiful song indeed. Yes, so that was the songs. We'll listen to a couple of bandishes. I go back to Manik Vermaji, go back to many years ago, and this is out of one of her live performances and a very beautiful bandish. And I'm going to give you a cue on the if you listen to the bandish very carefully, it has it takes you, the second line of the bandish takes you with a surprise, and see how the audience gives dad to that surprise. Now that the true sign of an educated, or I won't say educated, a knowledgeable audience who knows, this is slightly different in Shankarland. So let's. And then we come to closer times, Venatai singing a very popular bandish in Shankalyan. Yes, so these were the two bandishes. I think I began with Shankal and I played a lot today, so I will not play another bandish today. And let's go ahead and look at any more questions. We have Asif Boaz, and I am told that he is from Pakistan. Welcome, Asif, on this. Ashok Korwar asked me why. Before that, Guru on net, sorry for it wrong. I don't know what he means, but there is, no questions are silly. All the questions are very valid. Please go ahead and ask whatever comes to your mind. We may not be able to answer everything in this session, but we'll come back and answer everything. Why Ashok Korwar asks why so few filmy songs in Shyam Kalyan, such a sweet romantic. Yes, it's a pity. And in all the other rags, Hamir has a few songs. Kedar has many songs based on it. Uh, Gautsarang, not so many. Nanda, a couple of songs only. I think as the chalan gets more and more, you know, what should I say, rigid. It's not very, the whole thing is not very rigid for the artist, but from a composer's perspective, a film songs composer perspective, if the chalan is very typical. For example, the Nanda, you can't, make any other song like other than Mera Saya thing. Trying to make a song out of that rag becomes more difficult. But it's a pity that Shamkalan is not used much. Vinod Thomas says, can we later try to understand other systems of music, say like Arabic or Japanese? Or I think let's address some of the rags, and let's come to a certain level of understanding here. I myself am not so very conversant in all the systems, except maybe the jazz and some of the Western music, but certainly later on we can get experts to join me here. Mohan Ketkar mentions a Marathi song, Chandanache Parimala. Yes. Ashwin says, You Hum Jo Hijr Mein. Yeah, there is a ghazal, Ghalib's ghazal, tuned by Ridhanath and sung by Lata. He is in Shyam Kalyan. Thank you, Ashwin. I think, yeah, that can be a homework, find out this ghazal and, try to relate it with the phrases of Shyam Kalyan. So I think we are coming to the close of the questions. I still do not have any answers on the question I asked. My question was, other than the rags which I mentioned here, which are a couple of other more prominent rags which belong to the family, the Kalyan family. And if I don't get the answer in the next 1 minute, I will I will give the answer. And yes, no. As expected, Ashwin comes out with Maru Bihag. Yes, Ashwin. Maru Bihag is from the same family. Then there is Chaya Nut from the same family. You can say Shuddha Kalyan also would form. Avinash Ballar said Shankara. Shankara is more close to Bihag. Bihag is not Kalyan. Bihag, Ashokji, Bihag is Bilawal. Bihag is not Kalyan. And that is the major distinction between Maru Bihag and Bihag. Now, before we started this live series, the first two videos which I made on Raga Parichay together with Nandu, the first one was Maru Bihag and the second one was Bihag, and I have explained the absolute difference between Bihag and Maru Bihag there. So probably it will help if you can go back and see those videos. Yaman, of course, but I said other than Yaman. Yaman Kalyan uses both the Madhyams. I think that brings us to the close here. I think I am very happy with the way things have gone today, and let us now on focus more on also doing things, getting to know the phrases from closer quarters, and really try and make friends with the rag. We will, of course, all the rags which I mentioned in this family, they all definitely deserve one complete session for themselves, which we will do. Someday we will come back and do a session on Kedar. One day we'll come back and make a session on Hamir. But now I think rather than just I think we will do this now. No, we will look at the family and one prominent rag out of them, and so that gives us the right perspective, and move on like this. So let us touch upon the major rags. The prominent rags. Look around them, and then look at them. So going ahead from here, I had in mind Bhageshri. So let's take Bhageshri for the next session.
Nanda.
No, not Nanda. Nanda we will come back to Kalyan maybe after a few sessions. I had said one day, I think that if we do 100 sessions, we will touch upon 100 rags. Now, I think we just don't want to tick, on 100 rags. We also want to see the perspective. We want to see how they are related, which are the siblings, which are the parents, which are the, siblings, which are the cousins, which are the twins. Like Bhoop and Shuddha Kalyan, they are like twins. Now, a mother can very easily distinguish between the twins, but not an outsider unless he is equally familiar like the mother with the twins. So, exactly the same happens with rags. An artist, of course, is practicing all the rags every day, so he is very clear, he or she is very clear about, what is the difference, like difference between Bihag and Maro Bihag. I mean, I don't have to really think. But as a listener, if you have to really assimilate the difference between this, then you have to work, and we are all here to work, and I think we will work happily, and it will take us somewhere. So again, thank you all for uh, joining today, and thank you all for registering. As always, another request for you, and again, spread the good word around. Tell people that this is not very difficult, it is doable. We all can do this, so get more people in. Nice to see the numbers growing on the channel. And please subscribe, hit the bell there so you keep getting notifications. And as the lockdown seems to be relaxing a bit, probably we will be able to do something more in a couple of weeks. And let's see where it goes. Thank you again. See you next week with Bhageshri, and bye bye. Thank you.